record. If it's not nice, I'll delete it. Okay, so welcome to Gym Street. We are but one of the best platforms ever. We try just a platform. Basically, we are talking of bringing metaverse into the world, and the world into metaverse. We have the easiest way where people will enjoy the metaverse and finance at the same time. And of course, we have one of the most exciting parts. Whenever you have metaverse, most of the time you don't know where to sell whatever you buy on the metaverse. But we are fortunate because Gym Street have got their own metaverse and their own marketplace. And guess what? We have a gentleman by the name Mr. Frank Horig, who is the founder and the CEO. He doesn't work alone. He works with co-founders such as Mr. Atash. Is also a great CEO for their subsidiary company by the name Codex, and Mr. Jordan, who is the CEO of the subsidiary company Immerse FX. So these are the brains behind this business, the key pillars of this business, coming from a long way in terms of experience, from vast direction. Some are coming from the arts direction, some are coming from the finances, and they are coming together. So let's quickly look into the guy who have been appearing on the Forbes magazine and also the Founders magazine, who is Mr. Frank, the CEO of Meta Networks and FCZ or whatever. Guess what? This guy is actually mostly in Dubai. That's where his Meta Networks is operating from, which is a metaverse company. And like I told you, this company is a company, the Gym Street is a mother to other subsidiary giants and you can imagine that we've got a company with companies within it that are supporting the existence of this main mother company. So this is a guy who's coming from a background of project development. He's been around from a way back as far as 2015, making sure he capitulates the decentralized finance issues and digital worlds. And guess what? He doesn't work alone. We are already in the world. We are not planning to be. We have a double existence. Number one, we are existent in the metaverse. We have our own metaverse and our own marketplace. And guess what? We also exist in the physical world. We are located with our head office in Dubai, and we have our development office in Armenia, and we also have our third office in Bulgaria. And these are physical offices that are already there. And guess what? The good part of it is this company have been doing so well. They're coming from a DeFi, platform. They are coming from the decentralized finance platform. That was the basics, the backbone of this concept. And now they're building and building and building bigger and better. So this is just a few pictures of the developing office, which is in Armenia. And I think one of the most important guy is this guy who is actually to one of our office, the developers office. He is actually Mr. Frank, and you will realize that we have a real management team, a real management place, the real people. This is our company office, and this is the one that you'll find in Dubai. And the good part of it, we have a space in the metaverse and a space on land. So this is exciting. And we have a powerful team that backs this company. And guess what? We are talking of over 70 talented individuals with diverse backgrounds and skill sets. So we've got a real management, real blockchain developers, real marketing team, real designers, real crafters of visual arts. And they're all coming together and say, let's build something unique, something that nobody ever have done. And guess what? We have the privilege to have a supporting team. And usually we have a CEO, a CFO, those are co-founders, but then there's no there's no bridge that makes this business doable between the CEO and the guys on the ground. So we have a solid bridge of the guys that are physically involved in the operations of the business, in the development of the business, with Mr. C, Chief Information Officer, Mr. Raphael. We got the Chief Marketing Officer, Mr. David, Mr. Timu, which is the Chief Communications Officer. And the good part of it, these are people that for us, some of us, we have direct access. And our teams will also have direct access to those people. We are so fortunate. We got Mr. Lewis, who is the moderator of the team. And we got Mr. Alberto, who is the token designer. And we got a senior marketing strategist, and Mr. Matilda, who is the art director, and many more. Remember, this is a bigger cross-national company, so you will find that you have much more people more than this. We have already met Mr. Lewis. We have already spoken to Mr. Alberto, and there are more on the many more. We've also spoken to the company advisor himself. And the good part of it, this is the evidence that, you know what, it's a well-structured concept, it's a well-developed with fundamental pillars of success in place in as far as management is concerned. The good part, I love the part, Africanism part of it. They did not forget about Africa. And of course, we feel represented, guys. For just for the start, we have Mr. Lewis on the board. And guess what? We are also going to take cognizance of the fact that for the past 2.5 years, the company have generated over 20,000 registered users worldwide, who most of them, they're coming from South Korea, they're coming from Japan, they're coming from Vietnam, and all these Asian countries. And the good part of it is now, from a global impact perspective, they are now penetrating into Africa. They are going to be penetrating into South America. They're penetrating into Europe. And we are at the forefront, guys. We are part and parcel of this. We will be, a year or two from now, we will be super, different. Our financials, our names, whoever we will be in the next 2 years will be huge. So just to take a recap on some active communities that are already, have been in this, we got the Japanese guys, the South Korean guys, we got all the, all other nationalities. And the teams are still growing. Very soon, they will be the dominant, the one and only biggest community, the African community. I can't wait. And guess what? It's going to be something very huge. If you and me, you could just take a look at what Tiffany, Ashley, and Elisa have been saying. They definitely, I love this part, this lady saying the metaverse project is exciting and an amazing idea that never existed in the financial world before. And guess what? We never had any concept that is so balanced, that is so practical and real within the metaverse. And I will be sharing some of the practicalities of the metaverse itself, what we have done so far. And I think last year was one of the most turning point, most important turning points of this business, because last year there was what was called the Crypto Expo in Dubai, which ran from the 5th to the 6th of October in Dubai. And Jim Street, they achieved their first reward. This is awesome. The most innovative decentralized finance project of the year 2022. And this is a huge, there will be companies, multi-million-dollar companies on the same platform, desiring to be there and achieving something, and walking out of such an expo with an award on its own tells you a lot about how much Jim Street have done in the DeFi, in terms of innovation, in terms of usefulness, in terms of security, in terms of sustainability. I like this part. These guys are more of a long-term project. The main issue is to make sure you do a concept that can take you through for years and years. And definitely this is exciting. And I was actually on the going through the videos of the last year's expo, and I could see people walking through onto this. They had what are called we call them what? It's like every person have got his own station, and there were lots and lots of people were moving into this Jim Street station, and there were also taking activities within the metaverse. And guess what? It doesn't only work around sustainability. I think in terms of protocol security, these are verifiable. I love this part. These are verifiable declarations in terms of Genius Network. They are all having smart contracts that are fully audited, and they are under review through what we call PEC Shield. And this you can verify. Even under CertiK, you can verify all this. So this for me was also one of the things that I loved. Because sometimes if you're not very techy, they will tell you we are certified by so and so, by so and so, and you just buy it from there just because they've said it. The good part of it, some of us, we can verify these things. And when I verified and realized that, yes, they are certified and they are audited by these great entities, I was so happy. And I said, wow, this is exactly what we want. I want something credible. I'm tired. Personally, I'm tired of losing money. I'm also tired of losing family and teams and friends because of jumping into wrong concepts. Now, the multi-metaverse that James Street is bringing up is something that I can safely tell it's something that's going to make a big difference. I'll tell you what. Having the old James Street metaverse on its own, we have a system that allows you to buy a portion of your own within our metaverse, which you can also sell. And the good part of it is you are buying it at a much more lower price than what it is going to be in the next few years. And I will tell you why when I get to where there are variations in terms of costing that I'm going to show you just now. We are actually going to be very lucky because they're going to be creating within the African continent. We have one of the best, places to business. We call it the business hubs of Africa. And one of the best hubs in Africa will be Sandton. And we are going to create a Sandton metaverse. And I can't wait to buy a piece of land in that place. And I know my children's children are covered. Because this metaverse, that's where the world is going. The virtual reality is where the world is going. And guess what? We already have the James Street Live, the Kabutojo Live. Now we have got the Sandton metaverse coming through, and I'm going to buy a portion of it. I now see what I lost in the first few years when I didn't buy any land on Decentra and on Sandbox. But I'm going to show you through. So what they have accomplished already is what they call the 2D map done, which is the 2D map is actually a framework which shows you the exact metaverse, the available lanes that have been occupied, and the lanes that have been occupied and the lanes that are not yet occupied, you will be able to buy from. And it used to be presented in the form of 2D. And where we are going because technology keeps on increasing. So we have the 3D VR prototype map now, which is much more clearer than to an ordinary member. If you give him this diagram, he may not be able to understand this, but if you give him a much more advanced, setup like this, he'll be able to understand and to visualize exactly what you're talking about when you talk about metaverse. So this is where we are, and this is where we are coming from. And guess what? We have the good part. This is what makes me, every time I come to this part of the page, I feel very bad about myself because I attended a couple of lessons around metaverse, around cryptocurrency. So I understand some of these things. And what I understand more is not what is to come. What makes me sad is I understand what I lost. What I didn't gain because I didn't take the opportunity. And now, as you're speaking right now, one of the fundamental projects, one of the fundamental products that this company is already selling is the metaverse, the land, the virtual land on the metaverse. And the good part of it is you can be able to buy that land, sell it later, or you can buy it and use it and make money through advertising. So you own the place, you own the space. There will be companies that will be able to utilize your space and put adverts, and you could be also generating much more income by simply having a portion where companies can advertise. I can certainly tell you, if you go in the real world where you look and see billboards and all that, just ask them. You will see the kind of money that they are paying to put a poster on a real billboard on real land. And you can imagine somebody who bought that piece of land some years ago and is now renting that piece of land for adverts. They are making a lot of money. There are people like you and I in the next 2-3 years will be super rich because companies will be approaching us so that they can advertise from our virtual lanes, guys. And you could also be advertising your own business from your own land. Okay, so this is the good part of it. Apart from the land, the companies also have in real time selling what we call miners. And these miners are working miracles. Why? Because right now we have a system that allows them to do dual mining. In other words, it allows you to mine more than one token. And this is exciting. So you can actually enjoy the rewards of the mining. You can also enjoy extra tokens from Gemini Network and also from Filecoin. And the good part of it is you are now getting into a place where you are selling, you are now a landlord. If you can buy a portion of the land on the metaverse, you are now a landlord in the virtual world. It does not make sense right now to somebody who have never understood the metaverse. But guess what? In the next few months, in the next few years, there will be multi-millionaires who will be speaking millions, and the people will be shocked. How did you get it? What happened? We were just working for our usual business. How did you get here? How did you own land in there? As I'm speaking to you, I'm going to be showing you how much other people who bought land on the metaverse some few years ago, how much they are making right now. You'll be shocked. And in the future, apart from you owning land, sometimes you don't have to sell it up. You can actually be able to have rental space, and people will be able to rent your land and you get paid. You will be able to sell that land or a portion of that land and you'll be making money. You can be able to build and lease buildings within your metaverse. Guys, it sounds very technical, but guess what? It's very real. There are people, as I'm speaking right now, who are multi-millionaires with this type of land. If people are multi-millionaires with the land that is that we have on the ground, that is readily available for everybody, how much more when you have got land that is so scarce in the virtual world? You're going to find that by the time your children grow up and they found to realize that their father had already bought some virtual land, they will call you a hero. They will call you a hero because what you are owning right now, a lot of generations of our age, they don't understand this. But the generation that comes after us will be actually looking for this kind of opportunities. And by that time, you'll be a multi-millionaire. And guess what? I can't wait to be a landlord on the virtual land. I'm tired of selling, but hey, I am now selling real stuff, real world. In the virtual world, I will be a participant and a generator of income. So these are some of the billboards that you may find, the kind of billboard that you find on posters or on places that you will have or that you own on the metaverse. So imagine yourself right now, if you go on the ground and try to book any one of these places and say, I want to put my advert there. The kind of money they're charging you is humongous. It's huge. It's too much. You can't even afford some of the places because of the kind of costs that they're going to tell you. But now imagine this is land almost cheaper than anything else now, and this is land where you can always find your own land. Now imagine having land which is so scarce on the metaverse and technology. That's where we are going. People will be in a place where they stop putting billboards on the road because very few people can get to a particular place in a particular country as compared to put it on the metaverse where the whole world can access that billboard. You understand? So if you see a billboard on N1 in South Africa, I can tell you guys in Europe, they don't even know there's a billboard that talks about Coca-Cola in South Africa. I can tell you guys in India, they don't even know there's a billboard in Johannesburg. They don't know any billboards in Johannesburg. They are in India. But with the metaverse, the entire world can have access to it. So you will find the power of the metaverse will be reaching a global market, and you are owning a portion of that particular land, and people from all over the world are saying, we want to rent it, we want to put a billboard there. And guess what? You'll be making much more money than we can imagine right now. You will get to a place. Okay, this was a real advertising in the streets, and how you can place adverts, how you can place. This was an Invest FX, own, which you already find on Jim Street Metabase. So these are some of billboards that you could find in such place. Imagine owning a portion of this in the Metabase, guys. For now, it's cheap. I can tell you that for now it's cheap. If you jump in now and be able to process something, some form of like, guys, you will find that in the next couple of months, in the next couple of years, you will be super rich, and you'll be able to tell people, guys, success loves speed. I jumped in when nobody was comfortable doing the unpopular. And guess what? We have also a differentiation between what is called the metaverse virtual reality and the real time websites. If you look into the real web time websites that we have right now, any website you can think of, you will find that most of the time you plug in, you type that, you do this and that. It is you and the computer, nothing more. And most of the time, those websites, they don't give you any support. You don't have any clear instructions on a normal, on a normal website. But on a virtual reality, you will find that the